Rolling.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast with Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
You'll see here the human male boasts the size of his testicles. I drive great when I'm blood. It's all about the sauce. Good, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Oh man, speaking of fucking, you want popcorn? I'll give you a popcorn kit. I'm just trying to go to Colorado and smoke some weed. Watch your fucking tots, huh? Those are my biscuits. Now, this is all alleged.
Oh, that's this thing on? Oh, welcome to American Slacker Podcast. As always, I'm Matt.
And I am Jesse. We're happy to be back for another episode here, and we got a little update to do from the poll that we put up based on our last regular episode. Now, Matt, you want to remind them what we're referring to here?
It got quite it got edgy in the Facebook poll, man. We were talking about fact or whack. Has Bob Barker killed a man before?
No, we had a lot of people weighing in on this. I think it came down 80 to 20 that he did kill someone.
Yep. Yeah. And I wish we could confirm, but
we can't confirm that. We did a little digging ourselves to decide whether this was a fact or whether or not it was whack. And it turns out that, although he was in the military, he was not actually deployed during World War II. He was a little late to that theater. So, as far as we know, he wasn't out there scalping Nazis for Brad Pitt or anything.
Nope.
No blood on Barker's hands, except the testicles of many animals that he had spayed and neutered.
Oh, I was like, where are you going with this? And then I remember the whole campaign that Bob Barker had back in the day about spaying all your animals.
Yeah, even on his biography, they have him listed as an animal rights activist. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I would count that. Like, is just saying something at the end of each episode really count? Is that like hopes and prayers? Like,
hey, I don't know, man. Well, we know Bob Barker, man of many titles, but killer is not amongst those titles.
Unless he was the Zodiac. That hasn't been disproven.
Ooh. Oh, now that's a whole nother question. I mean, we got to research where Bob Barker was at the time of these crimes.
Right.
I don't know.
Either way, I think we've made an enemy with him ourselves with all these accusations, so he might be coming after us next.
Oh, no. Bob Barker comes a-knocking.
Watch out for Bob Barkington Barker. All right, we're going to move on. We always like to start out our weird news with a little bit of weed news. And if people haven't heard, people have been getting sick from vapes. Matt, dude, it's an epidemic apparently. 7 people die, and fucking
vapes are the devil, man.
And a lot of this has been traced back to Ohio. And they've been doing a little bit of research into what led to people ending up in the hospital with different medical ailments that were linked to vapes. And they believe that these have come from illegal marijuana vape cartridges, illicit ones. These wouldn't be ones that cartridges that you'd be getting in the dispensaries in Ohio. These would be ones that you'd be getting, mail ordered to your house.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of the confusion out there right now, and people that aren't, vapors are getting a little concerned about it as well, because their brother, their son, their daughter, whoever, somebody,
friend.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Like, I've had a few people say it like, oh, you shouldn't do that. There's not enough research. And it's like, well, a lot of these stories you hear about are people buying shit online and black market, simply, fakes or black market. And that's where it's not lab tested. It's not made in a sanitary condition. So, I mean, you're ended up with God knows what in your lungs.
Yeah. And actually in New York State, officials have been testing some of the cannabis and nicotine vape cartridges with people who ended up getting ill. And they found that large amounts of vitamin E acetate, which is used as a thickener, in all of the THC vapes, but not in the nicotine products. that people got sick from. So they're thinking maybe this vitamin E might be linked to it. Vitamin E acetate is found in lotions and skincare products, and they don't really know what happens when you inhale it. So this might be our culprit. It's not 100% for sure yet. The FDA is testing products from Ohio and other states for a range of chemicals, nicotine, THC, marijuana components, cutting agents, this vitamin E shit, pesticides, opioids, which I doubt they're putting fucking free heroin into, into oil cartridges.
And I've heard a lot of it is containing pesticides as well, which is another fucking terrible thing you don't want in your lungs. And some of the black market stuff is even like batches that have failed lab testing, but then never got terminated, never got destroyed.
Oh,
so,
damn.
They get shipped somewhere where, it's still a hot market.
Yeah, and you got to look out for that kind of thing, because the only person that can, take those precautions is you. Either your choice is to not smoke the cartridges, or just not smoke entirely, or switch to like flowers or buds or even edibles. Until they get like a complete cap on this. The Ohio dispensaries are watching this very, very closely, though. They test all of their product. Well, I can't speak for all of them, but from what I understand, their standards force it so that they're supposed to test all of the products that they're putting on their shelves.
That's great. That's what you want as a consumer. I mean, you don't want to take a chance with anything. I mean, God knows anything can cause cancer, these days, and a lot of contaminants.
Yeah,
are questionable.
You don't want to end up getting the vapors and getting stuck in the hospital. So it doesn't seem like if you're using a nicotine vape that you get from any vape store, that this is something you necessarily have to be concerned about. Obviously, be aware of any other odd things that may be going on with the stuff you're buying, but this seems to be something that you'd have to worry about if you're ordering it through black market, I would say.
Yeah. I definitely used to consume some black market carts, and man, I gotta say, there would be times where my throat would like fucking get on fire and like not natural, like how you would get one from a dispensary and enjoy it. It was really weird.
How does like seeing the people end up in the hospital and stuff make you feel in terms of buying that kind of stuff?
Exactly, man. It's like that could have been me at one point, or a million other people that I know that are buying this shit, because I've seen, like I buy on the black market for flour. So I've seen the guys that I get it from have cases of like professional shit, like that should be on the shelf, like a full case of things, like, and like it's just perfect, like made and everything, but it's probably there's contaminants in it, in the flour or the oil,
or it could be cut. They take one cartridge and they put it in two different ones and fill it up with some
good
crap.
Black market too. I mean,
so yeah, it's something to be aware of. It's something to look out for. Always get your stuff through the proper channels if you have access to them. And if you don't, then I don't know. Maybe there's labs nearby that are worth getting your shit tested at. I know that was big in the 70s, and it led to the domestic growth in America of cannabis. So maybe we'll see that with cartridges, more stringent testing if people actually want to like make sure they're not smoking something that's going to kill them. If you want to read a little bit more about this, we'll be posting this article from mjtoday.org up on our Facebook page on Thursday for you to check out right after this episode's posted.
Nice. Check it out. And if you got any of those black market carts, flush them.
Yeah.
So get rid of them. Get rid of those.
Not worth it.
Not worth it, man. Now, keeping up with the toilet talk here, we're going to go over to England, where we've got the most ridiculous story about an artist who made an installation that was an 18 karat solid gold toilet. And it was a functional toilet, right?
Oh, really? Hooked up.
Now, this is where it's going to hit hard to home. It was named America, and it's a play on the wealth, the crazy wealth here in America and misdistribution of it too. So
like they don't have corruption in the UK.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's not what
high horse.
We're talking about this installation that was set up, and it was going to be usable actually as in the middle of an art exhibit for a month.
Were there any like partitions so that you couldn't see someone use, like, if they were going to use it, or is it just completely open?
It was a legit bathroom, like setup, and you had a 3-minute time limit. Okay, and the artist Maurizio Catalan, he's known for being like a prankster in the art world, and a lot of his exhibits are like really just like regularly defies good taste, is what I saw quoted, and I thought it was interesting. He also has like things such as like a model of Hitler kneeling, like dressed as a schoolboy, and I really wasn't sure what, I couldn't figure out what that was really going for on that.
You don't know the inspiration on that one?
No. It's just a lot of bizarre art. Like one was John Paul, the Pope, getting hit by a meteorite.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So, it's interesting, and I guess you can look into it, and it's just really, really weird art. But this piece of art was worth about $1 million, because of what it's made out of. You can melt that gold down, and it's solid $1 million.
I was gonna say, does the people pooping in it bring it up in value or down? I would think down.
Dude, melt it down, it burns right up. That's what I'm saying. The poop burns right up. You don't got to worry about it. Kills all that bacteria. Out. Oh man, those peanuts just burst in the carbon and into the air.
I'm gonna make an art exhibit, and it's gonna be a nasty old like thing of fish and chips, and it's on the ground, and it's just covered in dirt. And if you want, and I'm gonna call it UK. And if you want, you can go up and just eat one of the fries. They're real cold.
He is salty. He is salty right now.
Hey, takes two to fucking tango, man.
Let's go back to the story here at heart, where the Thames Valley Police Department received a call about a burglary at Blenheim Palace, which is actually where Winston Churchill was born.
No shit.
This was last week, that the toilet had been burglarized. And not only did they take the toilet, they just fucking yanked it out and caused a huge flooding. And it fucking wrecked a ton of shit, like a ton of art installations.
Oh, wow.
The building in general took a lot of damage. And let alone the toilet, again, is worth about $1 million. So it's quite a big deal. They could just melt that thing down. It's real easy to turn that. That's the great thing about this. And now they've taken into custody. They have a 66-year-old man. They don't know where the toilet is still, but they're saying that they're going to find out where the toilet is. And I'm going to tell you, that old man isn't going to talk.
No.
I got a feeling he's going to tough motherfucker, and he's just going to take the time, and that's it. They don't have the toilet, so they don't really have the crime. So I feel like
Andy Dufresne this, and just like 30 years later, he's going to walk out and pull out this toilet from like some public fucking bathroom.
Yeah.
It's like hidden in plain sight.
Yeah. The artist said he even praised him. He said it was just an extraordinary heist, and, which was really weird. It's like somebody had to finance that for all that gold. I mean, I doubt the artist put in $1 million for gold.
Maybe the artist was in on the heist.
Ooh,
he didn't seem too pissed.
It could be. Maybe it's insured. They'll never recover it.
Whoever did this is a genius. Tooting his own fucking horn.
Oh, dude. Yeah, just speaking about it in the news and shit. Who knows, man? It's really interesting. And the golden America toilet, just, I don't know.
Hey, send it back to America. How about that? Give it back to its namesake.
Well, it's funny you should say that. They tried to give it to Donald Trump in 2017.
Oh, God.
And I guess he was offended by it.
No, really?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Hopefully they get their golden toilet back. But I got a feeling that thing's been melted down into solid bars already.
Solid bricks.
Dude.
Laying bricks in the gold toilet.
Oh, man. Or maybe some guy just kept it for his basement. We don't know. I mean, I'm just speaking out of ideas. Maybe some guy has that fucking thing in his basement, and it's his pride and joy.
It's a possibility.
Dude. The other guys that helped him heist it come over once a week to use it. It's whatever you want.
It's so soft. It's such a soft metal. So we're headed back to the U.S. for our next story, to Maryland specifically. We're at a Days Inn hotel. Loud sex led to gunshots. Now, we've all been there.
That'll happen, right?
Getting loud, getting rowdy, and it leading to firearms discharging.
So good, it makes you want to bust a cap.
Bust a cap, bust a nut. You can do both in the same night. So police responded to what they thought was a fight inside a room, but it turned out was two women just having loud sex. The person in the room next door had reported it to the lady working at the two clerks working at the front desk, and they called the police. The officers spoke to the women who were supposedly in the room when the commotion was heard. They told the police, "We weren't fighting, we were fucking."
Damn.
The security officer then,
which they do very hard, might I say.
Yeah, I mean, loud enough that they thought it was a brawl going on. The security officer then had police order the women to pack up and leave the hotel because they're being disruptive, I guess. And one of the women thought she had left a cell phone in the room. So they escorted her back in, and the 34-year-old woman began to then argue in the lobby with the hotel staff. I'm sorry, not the woman who thought she left her phone, but the other woman was arguing in the lobby while they were looking for the phone. According to the guard, she then pulled out a handgun and pointed it at him.
Oh.
Guard tackled her, tried to take the gun and wrestle it out of her hands. They went to the ground, causing the gun to fire and strike the door frame in the lobby. Meanwhile, outside, a police officer heard the gunshot, came running in to find the woman restrained by the guard. They arrested her, and she tried to say, "Hey, the gun fell and went off. I didn't shoot it."
Oh my God.
But it wasn't adding up.
It's like a sad attempt at like a female all cast of Bonnie and Clyde. Like, it's like they thought they were going to be like, there's going to be a movie about us.
Right?
That's how badass we are.
But they just ended up, getting kicked out and shooting at the security guard of the hotel. The man also was bitten by the woman during the argument, for which he had to go to the hospital because that shit's infectious.
Oh man, that's fucking crazy.
If you listen to, or if you are one of our patrons, or Slacker Patreons, you got to listen to the raucousness of the hotel where I had someone next door to me kicked out. We put that up on our Patreon bonus episode. At least no one got bit or shot, in my case at least.
Yeah, not too. Yeah. It didn't get to that. It was pretty high of a level though. It was crazy. Like,
it was up there. No fire.
I heard audio. Yeah. Man.
So yeah, stay away from the Days Inn in Maryland. Shit gets rowdy.
Well, let's keep up with this crime talk. Go international. We're going to Scotland, where a man has been ordered to perform 75 hours of community service after he allegedly, intentionally, kept passing gas during a search. Now, in his defense, it was a cavity search. Like they got to the point where they got internal with him. All right.
Oh.
Well, let's start with how this all started. Apparently, police were responding to a vehicle collision where they noticed the guy who was 28 years old. He was speaking to the driver of another car. And then when they were talking to both of them, they noticed that there was like a really strong fucking odor of marijuana on the guy. Okay. They're like, "We got to search you, sir." So they're like worried about him being high and driving and causing this crash.
Okay.
I'm sure it doesn't say in the story, but I'm sure he was probably the one that hit somebody from behind or whatever. And so they find a small amount of cannabis, according to this, and they handcuff him. And apparently that's when he starts to really resist. He's like getting angry, yelling. He's like, fighting him a little bit. And they finally bring him to the station and they book him. And they're like, "We're going to fucking strip search you." And they get into the whole procedure. And then he's deliberately bent over at the guy. And they're like, they tell you to bend over and cough or whatever.
Yep,
and
touch those toes.
He bent over and he farted 3 times. And he goes, "How do you like that?"
"How you like me now, coppers?"
"How do you like that?" And they were not happy with that. So
they didn't like it.
No. They booked him on more charges than just the drug charge. And his attorney was downplaying. They say in the article, downplaying the incident, telling the court that he had been smoking cannabis. He felt that the police overreacted with how they dealt with him, and that he became upset with that in general and just it increased, and then he went over the line. Which, I mean, I don't know. It's not too far off. I don't know if I would have went the same fucking route. But
what, farting at cops?
I mean, all he had was a little bit of weed. I mean,
Yeah,
did
they
that cause
went
him to
overboard.
crash? I think this guy would have crashed, sounding by like judge of character of what he did here. He would have probably crashed into somebody without the influence of marijuana.
Maybe. I mean,
I'm going out on a limb.
Well, I'm gonna say if you're a cop who's doing a cavity search, like don't be surprised if someone farts on you, because like you're already like getting that personal, like with a finger up the butt to check shit. Like, yeah, you're gonna get farted on, motherfucker. Like, are you kidding me? That's par for the course at that point.
Oh, dude,
You're being that
it's
intrusive on some dude. Like, that's the least they're gonna do to you. You're lucky you don't get shit on by like some maniac. Fucking, you don't know who you're pulling over and stripping down.
Dude, true.
They
True,
might
man.
have a fetish for all you know.
Yeah,
That might be right on the fucking ding that bell for them.
it says 1 in 330 million, but you know, hey, never know. This isn't
a
the
lot
first
of.
this has happened either. We did talk about a criminal like a month or two ago where he was caught because he was farting so loud
Oh yeah,
while they were searching for him.
he ran
And,
away, tried to hide, but his ass gave it away.
And in 2008 in West Virginia, there was a kid that was pulled over for driving without his headlights on, and he failed a couple field sobriety tests, so they took him into the station to sleep it off. But while he was there for booking, probably in a small room, you know, at a desk with an officer, he would get up and fart and waft it towards the officer, trying to flow the smell to him. And the officer said he felt like it was provocative and it did not, he was trying to injure him in a way. It was some like ridiculous complaint.
I'm over people being offended by farts, man.
So, dude, this is where it gets even better. They file a battery charge because the
Battery.
officer felt like he was personally injured from the fart.
Odiferous battery. Is that
Dude.
like what we're going with?
Obviously, well, not obviously. Luckily, it was dropped. I mean, that would be real horrible to get battery. And it's like, you got battery, man? You're like a felon? And it's like, yeah, I just farted and like wafted it towards a police officer.
It's like, don't mess that guy. Don't mess with that guy. He farted at a cop. He's got 20 years.
It's a crazy motherfucker.
Get back. I had beans. Get back.
Oh, man.
All right. So we're gonna talk about just a remarkable story. This next one. It happened in Australia. There was a massive fire at a facility. What kind of facility, you may ask? An artificial insemination facility. This place was
What?
to the top with bull semen. We're talking AI, not robots, but artificial insemination.
Oh, my God.
And this fire,
all over the place.
this fire could not be contained. It was burning out of control to the point where when firefighters went in to extinguish the blaze, all of these containers filled with bull semen boiled over and started exploding with their tops becoming projectiles.
Dude.
The
Third degree burn from jizz.
oh my god, it's like
From
napalm.
bull jizz.
So
Oh.
they tried their best, you know, to extinguish the blaze in the early hours around 3 a.m. in Australia, near Gippsland, Victoria. And they managed to eventually put it out, you know, by the morning, but to no avail. There was so much damage done, like thousands of dollars worth. I mean, each straw could go between $5 and $95, and each cylinder is actually worth about $342 US.
Wow. Dude, yeah, that's crazy. A lot of money in that bull jizz, huh?
They lost over 100 cryogenic cylinders of cattle semen. It was a huge
Dude.
blow to the farmers, it says.
Oh, wow. Play on words there.
Heyo.
Man,
And
that's
dangerous
horrible.
at that.
It seems like a horror film almost at that point. If you're looking through the firefighter's perspective, you're running in there, everything's fucking on fire, and then just the popping happens of just like
Ugh.
the jizz monsters, man. Just jizz bombs all over. It's out of control.
I mean, I don't think they train you for that in firefighter
I'm pretty sure they don't.
academy school.
I'm pretty sure you're right on that, dude.
That's not something you approach on a daily basis. So yeah, this place ended up losing, thousands of dollars in bull semen, and these firefighters were risking their lives, putting their biscuit out there to fucking try and save this cattle facility to no avail.
Bull semen.
Yeah,
Dude.
stay away from hot jars of bull semen, I think is the lesson from that.
Oh, dude. I think there's more lessons than that, but yeah, we can definitely focus on that because that's just don't get burned by the bulls.
Don't get burned.
Man, well, let's keep talking about waste, and it looks like I got all the shit stories tonight because we're going to Portland, very progressive city. And apparently last year they passed a law that prohibits officers from putting any charges or arresting or ticketing, fining anything to people that are relieving themselves in the streets. There's a huge homeless population, so they're having a huge problem with that. And I guess they must have gotten together and said, I would imagine citizens probably got together and fucking wanted the homeless to stop being arrested for things when they obviously have no resources at all.
Right. It's not like Starbucks is letting them use the bathrooms.
Yeah, the same people that are probably denying them use of bathroom in their small little cute shops are probably banding together for that.
Yeah, true.
So they're coming together though. It's pretty nice. Even though me and you could just go there and just like pop squat and shit anywhere, they are coming up with some alternatives. They're not going to change the law. They're not going to make it another criminal act again, but they are going to bring in a shit ton of porta potties in public bathrooms for homeless people. Okay,
that works. At least gives an option.
It's going to relieve, what it's really going to do is it's going to relieve, like there's a huge fucking amount, like up to 450 reports of human waste are filed with the city every year, like complaints. Jeez. Or every week rather, sorry. Which every week, up to 450, every time they respond, it costs the taxpayers $316.
Per poop?
Do the math on that, 450 potentially. Let's even say 300 times, the 316 every week, fucking for a year. Like, imagine what that costs a year, dude. That's
300 times 316?
Dude, yeah.
Is that what you said? $94,800.
All right. How many weeks are in a year? 52?
Yeah.
So 52 times that?
4,929,600.
So, yeah, and that's lowball, and they said up to 450 a night, a week. So now what they're doing is they've agreed to spend about $900,000 on the public toilets and all that shit, so that the homeless
save money.
Dude, yeah, there'll be maintenance every year, but in this initial cost, but I'm sure it's a lot cheaper than the potential of what they have to do to keep the residents of Portland happy, with keeping the human waste off the street, because you can't have that. You're gonna get sick. Your dog's gonna get sick. Like you don't want your kids.
It's like going back to Victorian England where they're just throwing chamber pots out the front of their fucking house.
Dude, where they have like a goalie that just ran down and you pour it in that and like, dude, disgusting.
Now, so you're telling me if I went to Portland and saw someone pooping in the street and I started yelling at that person for pooping in the street, that they would not be arrested, but I would be arrested for harassing them?
There is a chance that could happen to you. You were wrong, sir.
So if I push someone into their own poop in the street in Portland,
that's assault. Come on now.
Oh, great. Cool. Now I'm the criminal.
I know. And in New York, you're a hero. Portland, you're a dirtbag for doing that.
Depends where you are, I guess. Well, let's keep people laughing. There's what you don't want to be the guy pooping in the street, but you also don't want to be this guy from our funny clip.
You definitely don't want to be this guy. Now, apparently the gentleman in this clip had offered to buy the whole bar around.
What a great person.
What a great dude, right? Only problem is he didn't fulfill his fucking part of the promise, and everybody got a drink and had to pay for it.
Yeah.
So it was like they probably had an extra drink that they might not have had, or, a different kind of drink because they're like, he's buying. Who knows? Who knows what's going on there? Yeah. Right? Well, let's see how what happens when he tries to get back into this bar, right? If you're watching the YouTube, you get to actually see this bad boy. Now, I think it's hilarious because I'm not one of the people or this guy.
He even gets a warning from the one dude stumbling out, like, don't show your fucking face again. Don't go back in there, bro.
Oh, man.
And they are not happy to hear from him.
They are not happy about that, dude.
He just does, hey! They all turn, no, fuck you.
Dude. They have every right to be mad. I mean, that's ridiculous. You don't do that. You set them up. That's not the kind of prank that people can get behind, man.
He looks like he's
Not the
enjoying
people there.
himself.
We can be behind it because it's pretty funny.
Yeah, right.
It
So we'll be posting that up on Friday.
did bring a smile to our face, right?
Yeah.
All right, so.
We'll be posting that up on Friday on our Facebook page for you to, end the week with a funny clip.
Hell yes. And now we're about to recommend some music. But before we do that, here's a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you in part by hemp-cbd.com.
Hemp-CBD was founded in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with the mission to provide the best products in the industry. Hemp-CBD has created a one-stop shop for tons of CBD products, such as tinctures, edibles, topicals, pre-rolls, vape, and pet products.
The products carried by Hemp-CBD are sourced from an organic hemp that's grown in the United States, lab tested, and consists of CBD isolate, which is the purest form of CBD. This testing ensures that their products contain CBD and no other cannabinoids like THC.
Head over to hemp-cbd.com and use promo code SLACKER for a 20% discount at checkout.
That's hemp-cbd.com, promo code SLACKER.
What's up, guys? This is the Brothers Binge with your hosts Pedro and Alex.
Shoot, as he sneezed, he shot back into a vat in clear waste.
Oh my god.
We are a weekly podcast bringing you all things movies, TV, comics, and more.
Dusty Matt Damon?
Yes.
You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud.
Yes, we get it. You were an extra. You got paid money.
You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Brothers Binge.
And he just breaks the table in half and just starts throwing it at him.
And remember, always binge responsibly.
What up? We are back, and it's time to jam. Do a little dancing, maybe even.
Yeah, we got some music suggestions for you. I'm going to start it out with a band that I recently found called Moose Blood. No, they aren't a lumberjack death metal band like you think they'd be based on the name. They are actually a UK band with an emo kind of pop punk sound. I'd say it's a little different than that, but I guess based off of like the way the UK kind of does their genres, it falls closer to like an emo sound from the UK.
Yeah, it's a very interesting sound, man. And I knew one of their songs that I had found. You know, Spotify does a great job of like just bringing in a variety of sound. And one of the songs, like we were listening to them before the show, and I was like, oh shit, I know these guys. Like they have such a like unique, but still like a play on a lot of other sounds too.
Yeah, I think they're not so out there in their sound that I think a lot of people could really dig, you know, their music. They were formed in 2012 in Canterbury, Kent, in the UK, and they were signed to Hopeless Records. They are comprised of a bunch of dudes, Eddie Brewerton, who does vocals and rhythm, Mark E. Osborne, lead guitar and vocals, Kyle Todd does bass, Lee Monday does drums, and then they have a couple of former members too, Glenn Harvey and Sam Bradford, who were, you know, with the band during certain parts of their recordings and stuff. So these guys popped onto my playlist, you know, in Discover, like most of the time how I get my suggestions for the show. I found them on Spotify playlist that was suggested to me, and I really liked them enough that I hit a little hard on the song, because that's kind of how I do it. When I hear a song I like, I'll make sure to, you know, give it that little heart so that later I can go back and see all these artists and actually go and explore their other stuff.
Yep. Yeah. It's a great way to learn more what's out there, you know?
Definitely. And the first song I'm going to play is called Gum. This is off their album I'll Keep You in Mind from Time to Time. And this one came out in 2014, in October of 2014. And we'll get into a little bit more about their, like what happens like later on. They had a very short-lived career so far, from 2012 until only like last year, but we'll get into that on the other end of this song. This is Gum by Moose Blood.
Do you
come over later to my house, listen to your favorite song. We'll pretend the words ain't true, they don't mean anything to you. But do you wanna come over later? To my house. Smoking too much lately, I can feel it on my chest. I'll stand in the garden with you.
All right, and that was Gum by Moose Blood. That's, I think, their most played song on Spotify. It's the one that definitely caught my eye, and it's such a cool song. It goes all over the place in terms of the tempo. Kind of starts out with this strummy, kind of Weezery feel to it, and then it slides into something harder that feels more like Brand New or like Me Without You. You were kind of saying, it's cool. It really gave me a nice feel for what they can do when I was first like checking them out.
I've got to say, yeah, you know, it just feels like from the heart. Like you feel like the love to the song there. Like, I don't know, you know, maybe it's just my interpretation, but I just something about that song just pulls me in. And it's just like I can imagine, like you were saying, you know, the guy just sitting there strumming away, you know. And just fucking breaking out into those like perfectly matched vocals.
Yeah, it's great. They do a really good job with their sound, and that's why I was having trouble before calling it like emo or pop punk, because like, all right, emo pop, maybe, I don't know. It's more of a rock sound, maybe a post sound. Like I don't really know how to, you know, categorize it, especially because between the different songs, it's very different as well.
They label it themselves as like English emo and pop punk and stuff, you know.
And maybe that's just it. I'm not as familiar with like English emo or like English pop punk type stuff, and maybe that's a lot closer to this kind of sound, which I'm enjoying. I'm not gonna hate on it. So the next song that I'm gonna be playing from them is called Cherry. And I think it's off of the same album, the I'll Keep You in Mind. Yeah, it's the first track on I'll Keep You in Mind from time to time. And I think this one is that one album that I keep going back to from them. It seems to have all of their really good like hits that at least speak to me. So this is Cherry by Moose Blood.
I was young and irresponsible. About a year ago, and it's impossible to tell if my hands will ever warm up. I don't believe in growing up, but look at me now. I'm engaged to be married. I'm only 23 and I got myself a family. She's not mine and she never will be. I'm reminded every day. She's not mine and it fucking kills me. She won't look at me that way. I was young and irresponsible.
So that was Cherry by Moose Blood off their album I'll Keep You in Mind from time to time. Like I said, this is the album I keep coming back to. It seems to have all of like their hits on it. That one definitely gave me like a Soko Amaretto Lime sort of. I see the emo in that song in Cherry.
Yeah. Oh, dude, all day. I love that. I really like that. Like that one reminded me a little more Brand New. Like I see what you see,
or like Taking Back Sunday sort of style. Yeah,
that too. Yeah, a little more you know, the vocals were a little more toned down. And I like that.
Yeah, there was the one part where you were waiting for it to come in hard, and it just kind of sit, but it could totally have gone the other way.
But I like that they didn't though. Like that's a nice like keep it mellow. You know, every other band would do that, like break into a full electric song. You know,
or in concert, fucking kick that shit to 11, go from the acoustic and pull out the electric. You know,
dude, fans would go fucking nuts for that, dude.
Unfortunately, as I mentioned before, there's a little bit of an issue with that. The band on September 24th, 2018, a few hours after being announced as support for Good Charlotte on their headline tour across Europe and the UK, they released a statement saying they need to step away, hinting at a hiatus or breakup. And there hasn't been much since.
Oh man, that sucks. I hate when it happens, but I mean, at least they left us with like, you know, some type of archive shit to listen to. That's really good.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess there is a little bit of controversy. I guess there was something along the lines of their drummer, and some sexual harassment allegations with a photo that was sent to someone in 2015. So I'm sure that didn't help their tours, and maybe that had something to do with them possibly taking a hiatus. Who knows?
Yeah.
Either way, I really like what they've put out, and I really wish that they were doing more stuff and touring more. You can still, the last thing that they put out was in 2018, so it wasn't that long ago. It's not impossible for them to think that they might get back together or possibly switch around members and stuff.
Yeah.
That is Moose Blood. Sorry to end on a low note with the sexual harassment allegations.
Dude, fucking doling out the whole podcast, dude. What's up? Are you gonna do that? It's up to me to bring it back. And we're bringing it back with some shit that's going to be powerful, some power ballads. We're talking about LeBrock. LeBrock is an amazing synth-heavy 80s retro rock, like a little bit of power metal in there. Like it's amazing. They're very unique in what they do. And LeBrock consists of Michael Meadows and Sean Phillips. Two guys, fucking amazing talent. They've been around since 2015. And I liked them right away when I heard them because I've never heard anything like this. And come to find out, they're actually on Fixed Music record label, which is Scandroids, a guy that I had actually recommended before on the show. So it's really cool to see, like, you know, he found them through just appreciating their art that they put out like on YouTube and, you know, what they were releasing on SoundCloud and whatnot. And he just instantly loved, you know, how different it was from everything else. You know, it's a saturated market for retro and synthwave in the same old fashion over and over again, like the same themes. And these guys kind of stretched the boundaries on the melodies and the themes of the songs a little different and made it unique instead of just the same old play, you know. And I really enjoyed that. And yeah, so let me just bust in to one of the first songs that I heard from LeBrock, and it's called Runaway. And it's just got, you know, every one of their songs I feel like has a movie theme going on. Like they're imagining like an 80s fucking movie contained in the song. And this song is just about like getting away from all your frustrations, your problems, you know, everything that's not working out in your life, like at the time or whatever, you know. And it's really cool. Like the melody is just fucking powerful. Everything they do is like a power ballad. This is Runaway by LeBrock. So yeah, that was Runaway by LeBrock. I fucking love that song, man. It's just like you feel the fucking theatrics of it. Just it's powerful. You can bust a move to it, you know, if you want to. Like it's a good fucking song for anything, I feel like.
Belting out there. I went and followed him immediately, actually during that song right there on Spotify.
There's the testament. And yeah, that's how I was too, man. Immediately I was like, who the fuck is this? LeBrock. What? I gotta check him out. And I just instantly loved like everything they were doing. This duo is not to be fucked with, and I think they're going to be around for a while, just cranking out a lot of the tunes that are going to become like, you know, just the pillars of like this genre, you know. Yeah. And when we look back at it, it's a very, like I was saying to you on the break, it's a very DIY like genre, synthwave and retro and all that. So it's like, you never know who's doing, what or how they're doing it, but it's just to get this kind of sound, on their own before getting to a label, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And let me move into another one that's going to rock your fucking socks off. We're going to go to the real thing. Well, it's called Real Thing, not The Real Thing. And it was like the second song I heard from LeBrock, and I really just, it like settled. Like that's when I followed him. I was like, okay, I'll give the one song. Like, am I liking the song or am I liking the artist?
Mm-hmm.
And man, I just liked everything after that. But this is Real Thing, and this is a journey of its own. So let's get into this. So that was Real Thing by LeBrock. And, for me, I think I get from that is it feels like the 80s type story where, a relationship ends and, like, the guy's, like, looking back at it almost. Like, at the mixtape from back then, like, working on, like, garage band songs, like, hoping that one day, she'll hear him type deal.
Okay.
Until you hear us on your radio, play it loud, never doubt, until you're hooked on the sound. Maybe you'll hear us flowing on the beach today. Time to play new arcade, coming wave after wave. And then it just goes back into like, you give me something, like you give me something to live for. So it's like, I feel like that's what I get from that. It's really interesting. Like, and it's a common theme from 80s movies as well,
Mm-hmm.
The whole fucking putting the radio over your shoulders outside the girl's window hero moment, that type of feeling. Yeah, exactly, dude.
I was just caught up in how the song was constructed in itself, like the way that they in the chorus kind of held back with that first hit on the beat. That was an interesting touch, along with the echoing that they put behind the vocals and during the verses. I thought that was a cool way to kind of structure it.
To me, it feels like they studied the 80s, total culture and music, and just really took apart pieces that they really loved and just focused on how to modernize them just a bit and utilize them to their
highlight them. Yeah.
Huge array of skills. Cause I can listen to that and hear throwbacks to things where it's like, I know I've heard that before in a song, the intro, the way it comes in feels like a Bon Jovi throw to me. And there's lyrics that are to other old songs and, throwbacks to old songs. Which is really cool too. I really, really, really fucking enjoy that shit, man. And they're great. They're really, really, really fucking awesome. Their whole fucking archive of music you can listen to. They got instrumentals because that's a big thing in the genre as well. Yeah, people really a lot of people don't want to hear any vocals, so they have tons of instrumentals. If you're like that, and if you're interested in seeing them tour, they're a UK-based band, so you'd have to catch them out in the UK. And I think they're getting ready to launch a tour. They just finished up their last piece, but I think they're getting ready to announce a few dates locally. They did just do France, the Netherlands, and a bunch of home shows, but I think they're going to do a bunch of local shows soon too.
Cool.
Check out their Facebook. That's where they announce all that fun stuff. LeBrock, LeBrock. No space.
Nice. So that is Moose Blood and LeBrock, 2 UK bands that are worth totally checking out. If you want to listen to any of our other suggestions, Matt curates our Spotify playlist with all of our artists that we've suggested over the course of these 165 episodes. So if you want hours of entertainment, head on over there. And if you want to continue being entertained, stick around because we're going to be back with a new game. But right before we do that, here's a word from our sponsor.
If there's one thing we enjoy here at American Slacker, it's going to live events. Wouldn't you say, Jess?
Yeah, from you going to festivals, I like to go and see comedy. There's tons of stuff to choose from.
Oh yeah. Who doesn't like a nice night out? And who doesn't like to save a couple bucks on a night out? I mean, it's expensive to go out these days. Wouldn't it be nice if you could save a couple bucks, Jess?
I'm a cheap bastard and you know it.
Me too, man. What if I told you could save a small percentage on your tickets by just entering a code?
What code would that be?
Man, all you got to do, go to seatgiant.com, enter the code SLACKER at checkout, and you're going to save quite a few bucks, actually. Not a small discount. It's a good amount. It's a decent amount.
So you're telling me I could go to my pickle hating fest for a small fraction of the cost of what it would normally be?
Dude, I'm telling you, you're probably going to get a drink on us if you enter the code SLACKER at checkout at seatgiant.com.
Drink not guaranteed.
Hey everyone, this is Steve.
And this is Adam.
And we're part of the Hop Nation USA podcast,
Pittsburgh's #3 craft beer podcast.
Join us every Friday for new beer reviews.
We'll talk about the news, history, and homebrewing.
Plus, we'll sit down with the best brewers and industry personalities that'll have us.
So whether you're a casual drinker, a hazy boy hophead,
or even if you're a whale hunting cellar hoarder,
just search Hop Nation USA on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcatcher and join the nation.
And we are back with a brand new game here. I've been sick. We haven't mentioned it, but you could probably fucking tell. My voice has been terrible through this whole thing. And Matt, I appreciate you fucking trudging along through here and you being my crutch.
Dude, any day, man.
But now it's time to put you to the test with this fever dream game that I've come up with called, Is That a Band or a Canned Ham?
No, this is as far as I got when the concept came upriver to me. He was like, I got an idea. Here you go. Threw it up to me. He's like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put you into this. And I'm like, all right, dude. Hey, you design it. Whatever, man. But I don't want to know anymore until we get on the show. So please explain to me what the fuck this is, because I have no idea.
So in the throes of 100-degree fever, I had a vision between that you wouldn't be able to distinguish the difference between a band name and the name of a canned ham company. So I decided to go out and find some names, and you got to tell me whether or not this name is that of a band that plays music or of a meat delicacy packaged in a metal container.
Internationally, like this is worldwide shit. Like
this is worldwide. So you ready for number one?
God, this is so fucking ridiculous.
I'll give you spelling and origin too, if that's something you.
All right, we'll break into origin stories. Okay, let's go.
Number one, is this a band or a canned ham? Crackus. That's Krakus. Crackus.
I feel like you're setting me up. That's canned ham.
Crackus is canned ham. It is a canned ham. I want to say out of like Germany or something like that. I'm gonna double check to make sure.
Success. I knew you were setting me up, man.
It's it's actually a Polish canned ham.
You were expecting me to be like, that's a metal fucking band out of like New Zealand or some shit. Like, yeah, nope.
Right. All right, so you're 1 for 1 right now. Next up is Armour. Armour. This is ARMOUR. The British way of spelling armor.
I'm gonna say that's a band.
You're gonna say Armour is a band? And you are wrong. Armour is a canned ham company out of I want to say England. Like I said before, the way it's spelled, you know, that seems like something that the British would be spelling their hams like.
Dude, well, at least you know the canned ham's gonna get to you safe in that fucking armor casing.
It's armored up. No dents in your ham. Most hams, fun fact, can keep for up to 2 years on the shelf.
Apocalypse food is what you call that.
Well, canned ham. That's like Spam. I'm not going to give you that, though, because we know that that's a canned ham. I will give you, though, your third choice here. Doc. D-A-K. Dak. Or Doc.
You said D-I-K?
D-A-K. Dak. Or Doc. Is that a band?
You like docs?
Or a canned ham?
Oh, man, this is a tough one. I really could see it going either way. Oh, fuck, I'm having a hard one. I'm gonna go canned ham.
Dak is a canned ham.
Yes. All right. Woof. I was like, I could see Dak's fine canned ham, you know.
And you can get them on Amazon. You can get them at Walmart. This is a brand that's actually available in the U.S. if you're so interested. It looks like something straight out of the 50s too. So you got 2 out of 3.
I never thought there was this many canned ham companies or whatnot, because like when you said it, I was like, there's got to be this game sounds like there's going to be some depth to it, but no, literally it is banned or canned ham. Like I just thought there was something like he had some maniacal fucking plot of a game.
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
There is just a shit ton of meat companies out there, fucking slinging
canistered meats. So your fourth one.
Lay the slimy bastard on me.
Fourth one is called Celebrity. Is this a band?
Fuck.
Or is this a canned ham? What is
it's gotta be. It's a canned ham. It's a canned ham. I don't like your tone right now, sir. It's cynical. It's a canned ham.
It is a canned ham. Celebrity is a canned ham.
It sounds like it, honestly.
I'm going to start saying hammed can. I feel like I'm flipping the words now.
Although I feel like there was a huge opportunity in the 80s for somebody to have had like a hair band called Celebrity. That could have been fucking huge, right?
Totally. That's I could have easily seen Celebrity being like a British like pop band or something, you know? Since we've been on the UK bands today. All right, so what you got 3 out of 5? Did you win that?
I think I did.
You did? All right, this one's for honor. Dutch Colony. Is that a band or a canned ham?
Dude. That's fucking ham, bro.
You're damn right it's ham.
That's
5
damn
down,
ham.
and my man's got ham on the slam. He's got 4 out of 5. I gave you
damn ham.
Canned hams. There's no band. It's all ham.
That's some damn fine canned ham. You know what I'm saying?
Right, man. So that's it. It was there were no actual bands. We had 5 canned ham companies, and like you said, I am just as surprised that there
Confession time, guys. I've never had canned ham.
I don't think I have either. Most of my ham has come out of like plastic.
We're fakes, dude. We're fakes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Actually, you know what? Spam. If you count Spam as canned ham, I've had it, man.
Never had Spam, dude. Never had it, dude. It scares me.
Sounds like we know what we're doing on the next Patreon bonus episode.
You better get some serious Patreon people in order, because I'm not doing it for low numbers. I'm talking we need to make big numbers for that kind of thing.
I got you to eat Vienna sausages, so I mean I could probably get you to eat Spam too, man.
Dude, I heard Spam kills more people than vapes.
Oh God, yeah,
that's
totally true.
Heard that last time I was in Sudoku getting gas from a dude who was eating individual slices of bread out of the bag. So pretty legit.
Gotta trust that source.
I think that's how we're ending it, huh? That's it. We've run out of material, dude. At the end of the fucking show. You're dead. You're about to die. You're sick as hell.
I'm barely making it through.
Good. Oh, man. Well, hey, you can check me out on my personals if you're interested at MWG Media on Instagram and MediG from HP on Xbox Live.
You can memorialize me at Landers the Plane on everything.
Yeah, we will be setting up a GoFundMe for his family after to deal with all the memorials and everything. We're just waiting for the drop now.
I'm going to be eating canned ham until the day I'm done.
He's going to be fine. He'll be fine tomorrow. He's going to wake up and he's going to feel like $1 million, all right?
Ham in my system.
Little ham. By the time this comes out, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
We're playing it down. We're playing it up. All right, people. We love each and every one of you for tuning in. It's the madness. That is American Slacker Podcast. And until next time, that's it.
There you go.
We're smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America. I'm psyching America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We're slacking America.
This has been American Slacker Podcast. You can reach the show by searching American Slacker on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit. Or send them an email to americanslackerpodcast@gmail.com. You can download and rate American Slacker on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and all other podcast platforms. Visit the show's website, aspodcast.com, where you will find every episode, official merchandise, and links to their Patreon if you would like to support American Slacker.
Give me a minute. Think
think about the seconds that are passing. Man, I gotta go and get it, grab it. Why you gotta go and act savage? Smoking weed, I gotta feed the habit. Now I'm on some other shit. Things that I gotta go get. Medical all on my slip. You falling like dominoes, bitch. Stuck in my ways, fucking high days, fucking sideways in the driveway.
We smoking America. We passing America. Yeah. I'm mapping America. I'm second America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We second America. We second America.
Making it?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, Batman voice in a second.
I know.
Where is he?
Justice.